Coach, when Jalen fouls out there with 4:27 left to play, you just talk about the way you guys were able to navigate without him. He's obviously such a critical part to what you do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Stan became a focal point offensively for us. Um, I mean, LSU did such a great job pounding the backboards. And how do we weather the storm? Rebounding is the first thing that came into my mind, and then their pressure. So Chris went in at first, and then I just felt from a rebounding standpoint, Kamani, could maybe give us a little bit more size, obviously, and I thought Kamani did a great job. I mean, he hit that one free throw. Without his effort, we don't get the ball out of bounds either. But I can't, it's like, this is a really good league. It arguably as good as basketball league as there is in the country. And we've now won 14 out of 15 games, with one game being a 1-point loss. I mean, this just doesn't happen often where you can win at this clip. And this team, speaking of Jalen, this team finds a way somehow with a different guy. I mean, Stan's three was so huge. And then I let him play because they were pressing. And the one he missed, I thought, was a great look as well. But I mean, it was a great game, great way to end the home season for the crowd. I mean, this crowd's, wow.
Eric, it's kind of like the last game. You guys were down 8, came back and won. No, you didn't have a 17-2 run tonight, but down 7 late, came back and won. Is that just kind of this team's MO at this point?
Yeah, but I just think, for 15 games or whatever, even at Alabama, the game that we didn't win, I mean, we fought back, and so I just think it's a team right now that has belief, finds a way, is able to adjust. We had to change a little bit of our pick and roll coverage in game, which we really haven't had too much of late, but we did have to, tonight. And then that last play, I thought we did a great job of going vertical, keeping Pinson in front of us. Obviously, our defensive game plan, was centralized around trying to, make Pinson's shots as difficult as possible. And he took 21 shots, to get 12 points. So I thought, and especially the late game, to force him left, not let him go to his strong hand, right? Not to foul him. That's hard too. Not to foul a guy who's got such a quick first step. I thought we did a really good job of going vertical as well.
So the last couple of games, it seemed like Stan had really struggled to shoot from 3 at home. The last couple of games, I think he's hit 6. I mean, just how important has that been? And then just tonight, him getting to his spots in the mid-range too.
I mean, his mid-range is really good. When Jalen fouled out, I mean, we're going to add him, but we have some stuff that we've run for shooting 4 men that really we haven't had to add that into our play package. But after the Tennessee game, we're certainly going to add some stuff to get him some looks, because when a defense is focused on JD, we've got to get Stan some higher quality looks than what I've been doing as a coach. So it'll be good because we'll have a few days after Tennessee to add a few wrinkles to get him some open looks, because he needs to. We're not going to play here again, so he'll probably get on fire again in some other building.
Nice. Yeah, Coach, just kind of going off of that, JD went almost 30 minutes without scoring tonight. I'm curious, just you talked about Stanley there, but maybe talk about JD and what he did. He wasn't able to score, but what he did defensively and facilitating the ball. And then also Adis Toney, he had 18 points. He really helped out there as well.
Adis was incredible because, we've been assigning him to the top offensive threat. I mean, Adis guarded Pinson a lot of the game. So he obviously did a great job defensively on Pinson. And we don't run plays for Adis, and he's doing an incredible job of finding gaps. I mean, he made some really opportunistic plays when we needed him, when we were struggling offensively. I think he's as good as basket cutter as there is in college basketball. And I think he's as good a cutter as well. So, and then JD, I mean, when he's not scoring, he still comes up clutch. I mean, the 2 free throws obviously, changes the game, and not a lot of guys can step up with that confidence when you're not having a great offensive night. But he there's so much attention that he draws, even when he's not scoring, which opens things up for other guys.
You just talked about JD, contributing in other areas, but when he's not scoring, what is his attitude like, and how does he kind of respond when they're shutting him down?
His attitude's awesome to me. I mean, I don't think JD and I have never, we're like on the same wavelength. It's really cool. Cause I mean, sometimes players are trying to get a feel for a coach or a coaching staff. He probably reads me as well as anybody I've coached, to be honest. So he knows I believe in him. He knows I trust him. He hit that one logo shot tonight when he was struggling. A lot of people or coaches might not have wanted that, but I'm going to roll with him. He's just like I roll with all. I mean, a lot of freedom. I mean, Stan shot 2 air balls, and then the game's online. He makes a 3. So I want them to play with great offensive freedom. And then I just want to be demanding on defense and give them offensive freedom, but play unselfishly.
And we've talked before about how it's really hard to beat a team twice. So what does it mean to have swept LSU, especially considering you've got a rematch with Tennessee next?
It's a great point. In this league, it's extremely hard to sweep somebody. And, we saw it last year where Missouri beat us here, and then, we go there and win. And sometimes the home court, when you play somebody twice, gets semi-negated. But we did talk for the last 3 days about LSU's net. It'll be really interesting. Like, you beat a really good team like Kentucky, and your net, like, what is that thing? Because, like, I want to see what happens tonight after winning a game, and where does our net go? Because it's like, I'm looking at this stuff, and it's like a team wins and they drop. Like, what is this? And so I'll be really interested because their net's real high. And we told our team that. I'm not smart enough to figure it out. But I want to know how you beat a team really good, or you've beaten some of the team, and your net. I mean, the last 15 games, how are we playing? Like, I hope that gets heavily considered as well as we get ready for Selection Sunday. Hope there's some common sense in not just some net number that literally, I mean, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga and their net like barely moved. Like, I mean,
I don't know how that works either, but
if you figure it out, let me know.
Easton fouled out. He played longer than Jay will, or he fouled out later. But how big was it to get him out of the game? Just what you think of Easton's impact?
Yeah, I mean, Easton's a really aggressive player offensively and defensively, and he has gotten in some foul trouble. I didn't think we put him in a situation of foul earlier in the game. Probably should have done more. That's on me. It was in our offensive script, but we somehow got a little bit away from it. He's a great player. Offensively, he's got such a quick first step. And then their rebounds, I mean, he gets off the floor. He misses a shot, chases and gets off the floor as quick as anybody that we played this year. And he's competitive. I mean, he's a really difficult cover. He can make a 3 and also dribble, drive, and slash. They're a really talented team, LSU is.
You guys have 17-1 here in Walton Arena. Your first year, you had some big crowds. Maybe you didn't get the full effect because you guys had a rough stretch when Isaiah was out. Then last year, obviously, COVID. Well, what was it like this? What was it like this year playing home, especially these last run of games?
I mean, it was like when I pulled up tonight. I got here well over 2 hours and could see people just flooding to the, with the way I come in campus on Garland, you could just see people walking, students coming to the game. And then there was a line already. And, I think I do think that they're, when we sold out early in the year, I understand all across the country, there's still football being played but the crowds, once conference play were awesome. I think what we've done, hopefully what we've done and what our goal has been is to create an environment that this trickles into next year when we play our first game. And then it's up to us to try to entertain and play basketball that they want to come back for the second game. And I do think that next year we'll be sold out and have an incredible environment, the first game, home game. And then it's up to us from there, how we play. But I do think that this is sustainable going into the next year.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sure Will wait like, because you guys had 15 fouls, they had 25, but you guys are good at drawing fouls and they're good at fouling. What do you think of the free throw? Because you guys, that's kind of been a big thing you've been doing is drawing fouls, knocking down free throws. That seemed to negate the rebounding difference.
Yeah, well, I think anytime you play a high steal team, probably going to be a high foul team. They're one of the best steal teams in the country. They lunge at the ball. They slap at the ball. They're really aggressive. And I say all that in a complimentary way. I thought the first half we did a horrific job of settling for three and not getting to the foul line. And that was I just summed up what our halftime talk was about, because our 2 for 14, you can't do that. You got to be who you are. And we're an aggressive slashing, attack the rim team. And I didn't think we did that offensively enough in the first half. It felt good. It doesn't feel good now. I think I celebrated too much. I'm going to go see Dr. Cox as soon as I'm done with you guys.
Coach, I asked the players, and there were a lot of situations where bodies just scattered everywhere, the aggressiveness of the game, just the tone of what you saw, the physical nature of what that basketball game was.
Yeah, Clay, I mean, LSU is it's a loose ball game. It's a deflection game. It's an extra possession game on the glass. And neither team backed down. Both teams pursued loose balls. Both teams dove on the floor for loose balls. It was really physical. But whoever watched the game on ESPN and whoever was here probably thought two teams played with incredible effort.